private jets, taking trips. Come back at 6, wake me and your child. And then won't lay today, make me wonder who you might have been playing with. Makes me wonder who you think.
Alright guys, so real quick, I'm going to show you the gel polishes that we used later on in this video. So, of course, my No Wipe top coat from Madam Glam. Yes, I have a discount code, Rachel35. It'll be on the screen and in the description box. Alright, for our next one, we have this beautiful glitter blue called Bright Blue. So beautiful. And then we got this pretty like tealish Caribbean Sea. This is one of my favorites. And then we got this beautiful silver Arctic Pearl. So anyway, guys, these are the colors that I use in this design, and let's get into the video. Alright guys, so here is the previous set that I did. I did not get to record this. I'll explain that in a little bit. But this is what your nails look like when you have white nails and you dye your hair red and pink. And don't use gloves to rinse out your hair. So she had touched up her hair the morning before she came, like the morning of. So she knew she was getting them done, so whatever. They weren't this bad when I seen them the night before. But anyway, yeah, this is what happened. So right now I am going in and I am just doing, I have my 2 or 3x course 5-in-1, and I'm probably on about 25,000 RPMs. And I am doing my debulking. I am taking off the previous design, and I am getting up any lifting if there is any. There was minimal lifting on her nails. She comes every 2 weeks. Her nails grow so fast, and that's like her sweet spot, 2 to 2.5 weeks, and she has weekends off, so we just do it every 2 weeks. When we try to push it to the 3-week mark, the lifting gets lifting on her because of how much grow out and how hard she is on her hands. So we just have decided to stick at the 2-week, and she likes it anyway. She gets over her nails fairly quickly, so yeah, she doesn't mind. But anyway, so we are gonna trim these down. Last set we did not trim down because she is trying to get them a little longer, but we trimmed them down a little bit this time. And so when I went to go record this set that I am currently taking off right now, I recorded taking off the previous gel design of the previous set, and basically this part, I filmed this part, then I forgot to fill the application, so then I was like, well, I'll just do a nail art video because this is some nail art. Then I only filmed painting the nails white and forgot the rest of the nail art. So, you know, we kind of fucked that up. So I was like, I have to record these next nails, you guys. Like, I cannot fuck it up. So I literally just recorded both hands, both sides. Normally I just record one side. It doesn't take up as much space in my phone, and I just record one hand. This time I was like, I'm not even fucking around. I'm just doing it all. So, and I'm glad I did, okay, because as you'll see in this video, you do end up seeing her other hand, and that is because this hand that I like to record, it was out of frame a little bit, it was blurry a little bit, so I do show her other hand at some point in this video. So thankfully, that recording was there, right? So anyway, yeah, guys, this set was fun, and it was cool, but we did not get to record it, so, anyway, you guys, so she's had these nails on for quite a while. You can see her natural nails down there, and we have filed underneath them every single time we do a fill. So yeah, she's definitely had these on for a while, and they are doing great. She's really rough on her hands, so she works with like auto parts and at a collision center, and she's also a mom, and she's just a baddie. So she is extremely rough on her nails. She jams them all the time. She's surprised one of them didn't have lifting because she jammed it really hard. So yeah, she is just rough on her nails, and with them growing so fast, it gets that structure and that apex, it just grows out a lot. So Anyway, that's why we keep up on it. But like I said, there wasn't that much lifting. There was a little bit kind of like on the tops or whatever, and then like her ring finger had some, but we just go ahead and we take off as much of that as we can with this bit, or thin it out enough to where when I go in with the next step, it's easier to just kind of flake it off, right? And then we are also debulking some areas and essentially just getting her nails ready for the fill process. So okay, and then this is my under the nail cleanup bit, and so there's a couple different ways I've messed around with this. You can either do half of it going in one direction and then do the other half going the other direction, but that just takes too much time, so I put my finger on the right side of the nail, and when I have to do, and I pull it to the left, right? And so, but when I get close to that right side, I put my finger right there, and then I angle the bit. Instead of pulling it to the left, I end up kind of angling it to where I pull it to myself, and that prevents me from doing the whoop-de-whoop around the nail, because that does happen with this bit. And then you put notches in the nail, and so that's why I do this process or this step now rather than like at the end. I used to do it at the end, but then I would leave like a notch because I would get caught and do the loop-de-loop, So anyway, that's just how I do it. And I just get off as much of the nail as I can, and always ask your client before doing this step. Some people want their natural nail to grow out and some people don't. I definitely like doing that step just because over time the natural nail does detach from the acrylics. The glue breaks down, your nails flex from the water, and so they do detach, and it just kind of helps. So I definitely like filing that part down, and I haven't had anyone yet that wanted to keep their nails underneath, so, but some people do, I've heard. So okay, and then now we are going in with our file. This is a 180 grit file, and we are just getting her shape back to her short pointy stiletto. I almost said coffin. Short pointy coffin, really? Oh my god. And then anyway, so her short pointy stiletto. And sorry for the background, guys. My hubby is home right now. And a dab will do, a dab will do, okay? So anyway, we are just reshaping and getting this pointy, and then I do go over the top. Sometimes you need to go over like that top side and adjust that to get the shape that you're wanting. I used to just file the sides thinking like, okay, why is my shape not shaping? And a lot of it was because I was needing to file like the top side. Like, it's hard. Next time I do it, I'll show you. Right there. That part right there. Sometimes you need to file those side tops, right? And especially when you're doing like an almond or a stiletto, it's definitely different than if you're doing like a square or a coffin. So I still need to do my shaping video. I totally forgot that I was going to do those videos, and then Bowles reminded me that she's still waiting for them. So I'm so behind on videos, you guys. I am so freaking behind. Like, I have so many videos I need to record, let alone videos of me doing my nails. So anyway, you guys, this is what we're doing right here. And then so this set did not take very long. It took longer than it should have, just because she likes to take breaks, which I don't mind. She's the homie, and so after like each step or something, like before we do acrylic and stuff like that, she likes to take a smoke break and stuff like that, which I don't mind at all. She's a freaking full-time employee and a full-time mom and a full-time wife, and this is like her one getaway that she gets over at my house to just not be any of those things. So we definitely hang out and take advantage of that as well. So, but this set, I think with all our breaks, took, I don't know, like 3.5 hours. yeah, anyway, but so yeah, anyway, I'm gonna let you guys kind of watch the rest of my little prep routine. Some of it did get cut out. Fuck. Okay, so after I do my dehydrator, I normally do my dehydrator, which is acetone, and then I do 1 coat of protein bond, and then 1 coat of No Lift Nails primer. But that was blurry and out of frame, so I just cut that and did not put that in. But I do prime her nails. Okay, so that step is normally in my videos, but it was not shown in these. So just know that I did do that. So I'll let you guys kind of finish watching the last little bit of this prep steps, and I'll come back for the application. Alright guys, so here we are doing our application. This is real-time application. I have noticed lately I like doing my application in real time. My room was cold. Well, okay, it wasn't cold. My room was just normal, but her hands were freezing. And so I had a lot of manipulation time with this acrylic. So I, kind of have to work with the acrylic. You can't, you can only work with it so fast. So, but I do like showing application in real time, especially for the people that are learning and the beginners out there, because when I was learning, I would see people, doing their application and stuff. And of course, the videos were sped up and I knew they were sped up. But you watch something and then you go to attempt it, and I was attempting to do it just as the videos were almost not like comprehending that they're working a lot slower, or how much slower they were actually working, right? And different acrylics are definitely different. I was working on my nail painting palette that I've been kind of building, and I was using a Model 1's acrylic, and oh my goodness, it takes so long for that acrylic to polymerize. Even if I used a dry bead, it would still take a long time to polymerize. Maybe I'll do a video on that, showing like the different acrylics and how long it takes for the beads to actually be ready to be placed on the nail, because it's insane. And so anyway, a lot of those slow acrylics I feel like are almost not as good for beginners, because they set it down too fast when it's not ready, and then it becomes runny, and then they just swipe it off. Then that gunks up your brush, and you're not learning proper powder to liquid ratio. Okay, so the powder I'm using right now is Young Nails Core Clear, just their regular clear. I buy their big jars when they go on sale for like $68 or something, and it lasts me a long time. And it's just a basic, it's not slow, it's not fast, and then obviously depending on the temperature of the time of year it is and the client's hand will change it slightly. So I do have Speed Clear that I totally forgot about, that I probably should have used in this video. I completely forgot about it. I've never opened it yet, but regardless, anyway, so yeah, I like to just do real-time application for the beginners out there, the ones that are trying to learn and watch my videos to learn, because that's how I learned. I watched videos over and over and over and over, and I just was practicing what I was seeing. And so seeing it in real time and seeing like how long that acrylic bead sits on the brush before it's laid down on the nail, and then how it's patted and it kind of sits there and is just pressed before it's swiped or blended, just gives beginners a better idea on how long it really takes. Obviously I'm in the Pacific Northwest, so it's only hot like 3 months out of the year, right? So you might have a completely different experience if you live somewhere like Arizona, where it's constantly hot there, right? So you might have to work with your acrylics faster or more wet because they're setting faster. So temperature really does play a part. I've heard the sweet spot for acrylics is like 70 to 73 degrees. And that's when it performs the best. So the hotter it is, the faster it dries. The colder it is, the slower it dries, and then you can get crystallization. So all of those things take into account. Also, some powders dry faster, some acrylic monomers are faster setting, and then it also depends on the size of your brush and the quality of your brush. These synthetic brushes that people get from Shein or like Savvyland, those aren't Kolinsky, and so they don't, when you go to pat on the bead, normally a Kolinsky brush would release monomer into your bead, giving you some more working time if it was starting to dry. But those nylon brushes or whatever, they don't release the monomer like a Kolinsky brush does. So your brush definitely matters, you guys. I've seen people give up on nails because they bought, a Savvy Land or whatever, one of those acrylic kits, and it set so fast and their brush was shit. And, I, like my neighbor, I had, told her some things to get, and dude, she fucking kicked ass. Her first time using a Young Nails kit, and a good brush. You know what I'm saying? She fucking kicked ass. And so your brush really matters, and the products that you're using. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I just kind of went off on a little tangent right there. Okay. This brush that I'm using is my Cura Sky Brush size 10. It's one of my just go-to brushes, especially on shorter nails. I can pick up big beads with this brush though as well. You don't need a super big brush for long nails. It does help though. Like I feel like a 12 or a 14 is good for long nails. But I feel like having a variety of brush sizes is good too. Because like I said, like for my short nails, I go towards my size 10. For my longer nails, I go towards my size 12 or 14. So if I need to, it just kind of depends on the mood. But Jesus. Anyway, you guys, I'm gonna shut up, okay? Because this just went on a little frickin' tangent. And I'm gonna frickin'. Okay, I'm not gonna shut up. I lied. I don't know how to shut up, okay? Anyway, you guys, I definitely want to thank everybody who has been active on my channel lately. I get in the habit of not consistently posting. That's the one thing I'm consistent about, is not posting consistently. So it fucks with the algorithm, and YouTube doesn't want to push your videos out, which is fine. I'm not necessarily doing it for the views and for the subs and stuff. I genuinely enjoy doing nails and recording my journey for you guys, and not to mention recording my nail sets and then going back and watching them when I edit the videos has helped me tremendously on learning where I could do better at. So even if you don't have a YouTube channel, start recording your sets, or at least one hand of your acrylic application, and go back and rewatch it, and you'll see, like, you will be able to see a lot better, like, oh, okay, maybe that's where I was having some issues, and let's try this next time. So I don't know, just some little tips for some, newbies that are learning, because there's a lot of information out there, but not all of it's good. Not all of it is explained right, and you do kind of have to dig for it. So, and when you're new, you don't really know what's good information or not. Not saying that all my information is good. I'm just basically saying the things that I have learned, what's worked for me, what hasn't worked for me, all of that. So, anyway, I guess we're almost done with our application here. So, but anyway, so yeah, thank you to everybody that has been active on my channel. All of my longtime girls that have been here since the beginning of my channel, encouraged me to start my channel, and then all of the new girls. I absolutely appreciate you guys so very much. And yeah, it's been a journey. It's been fun. I enjoy doing nails, like I said. I do this for me, though. I don't do it necessarily for, I'm not on YouTube to try to make money. That's, I guess, let's just put it that way. Like, I really don't care to be monetized or to make money on it. It's a hobby for me. It's an outlet. It's something that helps my depression and stuff like that. So, anywho, now that I've literally blabbered through that whole process and went on 5 different tangents, we're going to explain my shaping process. So, I have the same shaping routine. It is slightly different when it comes to stiletto and almond nails, but essentially it is the same foundation and same routine. I start on the underneath, and then I start on the side walls, and then I start on the side going towards the middle, and I go around the nail. So it's the same routine that I always do, and so once I started focusing more on my acrylic application, my filing routine got easier because there wasn't as much to file. You know, before, as a beginner, I had the mentality, because this is what I heard and, you know, would learn from people, that, you know, just get the acrylic on there. Your file will fix everything. Yes, it does. Your e-file and your hand file will very much fix your acrylic application, but it's going to cost you a lot more time. So my biggest suggestion is to learn your acrylic application first and foremost, so that way you're not having to waste so much time filing, essentially. So anyway, another tangent. My bad, guys. My brain's all over the place. There's just, you know, it's just one of those days. So anywho, on a completely different side note, me and Brad just celebrated 11 years together the other day, and it's weird because I don't know, it seems like we've been together forever, but then at the same time, it feels like it's gone by so fast. And it's just weird, you guys. It's weird. Anywho, so that was exciting. That was fun. But so yeah, this is my filing routine. I always start with my hand file first. I love hand filing to get my shape. I feel like I can get a crisper shape with my hand file. And then I mainly use my e-file after this to seal the cuticles. So, yeah, anyway, some people do it opposite. Some people use their e-file first and then they go in with the hand file. Just find what works for you. This is what works for me, and then start perfecting it and getting better at it. And that's what I love about nails, is there's always something to work on. There's always a new trend coming out, or just certain areas that you can improve on. Like, there's no end goal. There's no finish line, essentially. Like, at least for me, there's not. It's continuing education, and that's what keeps me interested. I get over things really fast, and this has been one of those things that has actually stuck long term, and has not just been like a fleeting phase, I guess, that I get into and then I get over. So anyway, you guys, I'll come back here in a little bit for this nail design. Alright guys, so here we are for the design. In today's design, she wanted something well, she really didn't know what she wanted, and so we kind of found something the night before and went with it. So we decided on a marble with the colors that I showed you at the beginning of the video. And marbling gel polish is so fun. There's so many different ways that you can do it, and there's different looks that you'll get from which technique that you use. So this was my first time doing this type of technique, and it was definitely fun. It was nice. The one thing about marble is you want to make sure you don't, any marbling, whether it's gel or acrylic, you don't want to muddy up the colors. And so you want to just not overdo it, or else you're going to end up mixing colors, and sometimes they can just not turn out how you want it to be. So I'm going in and I'm painting these 3 nails solid black. These ones are going to stay solid black. When I use black, I like to do 2 very thin layers. It just is what I like to do with it, but you can do a nice solid 1 coat with this Madam Glam Perfect Black. You absolutely can, which I do on the other 2 fingers. But for these ones that did not have the marble design, I just did 2 thin layers. And so you put more pressure down on your brush and, you know, stuff like that. So y'all know how to do thinner coats. But anyway, so I do those first just to get those out of the way, and then I do the marble nails last. So I have my colors that she picked, and I have them laid out on my palette, like in lines next to each other, damn near touching, or if not, like they're touching at this point. And then you'll see me, I bring it over and I take a dotting tool and I kind of just zigzag a little bit through it, okay? And as what that does is it helps create a marble before you go and marble, right? I don't know. You don't have to do it, but I've noticed that when I've picked up gel polish, when they're in the lines like this, it seems to marble better when you do the zigzag through it, okay? And you don't want to do a bunch of zigzags. Like I said, like you don't want to muddy it up too much. So you'll see it here in a second. But anyway, so yeah, for these 2 nails, I'm doing my black gel polish coats a little bit thicker, just so that way we don't have to do 2 coats. Marble can sometimes bulk the nail out just because it is thick. It's a thicker design. You're using more gel polish. And that's why I kept the marble where I did, rather than trying to literally get the whole nail covered. I didn't want to lose her shape. The nails are short. Okay, so see, they're in lines, and I did a few zigzags. I take a liner brush and I literally just scoop some up, and then it's scooped up on there, and I just float it over, okay? And then kind of just maneuver it a little bit, okay? And then I wanted to get some black going through at some point. So, and that's why I didn't cure these. I did not cure the black. And so, but you got to be careful not to overdo it and over muddy it, right? So, but this is just some little touch-ups, add in some black in it, and I believe I add a little bit more of that lighter teal, just because I felt like it needed it. And so anyway, this was definitely a super cute design. I love how the black is in the background but is still in the marble, right? I guess I could have put the black in on the palette, but I feel like, I don't know, maybe it would have muddied it too much. So anyway, I like how this turned out, and like I said, it was super fun, it was super easy, and every time I would like float the gel polish on the nail, I would wipe it off. I wouldn't go in my acetone or anything. I would just wipe it off on a napkin, and then I would scoop some more up. That way it's not continuing to muddy and get mixed or whatever. So, and she's horrible at not, like when I'm painting her nails when they're done in the lamp, she doesn't just keep them in the lamp. So I always wipe them off just to be safe, because she usually has fuzzies on them or dust or something. So now I am literally just going in with my second coat of black on these nails, super thin, nothing crazy, just to have it so it's a solid black. And like I said, I didn't want to do this on the 2 marble nails because I just didn't want them thick. I wanted to keep our shape. She has short nails and they're short little stilettos, and so it just, look how messy I am. Jesus. Anyway, you guys, so yeah, this set was super fun. It was super easy, and it's definitely fits her. She loves black nails as well, and so she tries to add a little bit of color in it. So now we're about to go in with our top coat, and then you'll see the final result. So I just want to thank everybody for watching my video, for staying this late if you've stayed, and thank you for all the support. Leave a comment, like this video, subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you in the next coming videos. Okay, bye.